Hello, Jagdeep.
Jai Mahesh, I don't know about like it looks like you guys are in the webinar without any issue, but I was having an issue. It took me like few minutes just to log in. Anyway, uh, warm morning, Jai Bhim and Namo Buddhai. Let's get started with our the precepts. Okay, I'll share my screen briefly. Mahesh, I think we have already changed the guest, but let me kind of like share my screen. We'll go with the refuse and the precepts, and then I will hand over to Bhante Vimati for this week's Dhamma talk. Okay, so can we get started? If you want, I can mute everyone. Okay. Let's start our preacher and confession. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham sharanam gacchami, dhammam sharanam gacchami, sangham sharanam gacchami, dutiyampi buddham sharanam gacchami, dutiyampi dhammam sharanam gacchami, dutiyampi sangham sharanam gacchami, tatiyampi buddham sharanam gacchami, tatiyampi dhammam sharanam gacchami, tatiyampi sangham sharanam gacchami. Let's move to the 5 precepts. Panatipata Veeramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami. Adhinnadana Veeramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami. Kame Sumicchachara Veeramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami. Musa Vada Veeramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami. Sura Miraya Majjapama Dathana Veeramani Sikkhapadam Samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Good morning again, guys. We're joined a little late. Bhante, Vimuthi, I am making you a presenter now, and please go ahead with this week's Dhamma talk. Let us know the topic if anything you have on your mind, Bhante. I'm unmuting you. Please go ahead, Bhante.
Okay. So, sorry, today it's a bit because I have to change the place to this slide. Okay, I'm on.
Okay, Bhante.
Okay. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Cetanahang pikave kammang vadami. The okay. Okay, just a bit. Sorry. From now on, the essence of the Buddhist proverb will be described in order to make the way of better study and understanding about the teaching of Buddha for those who are interested in his teaching to improve our life both in this life and in next life. The proverb that I mentioned above can be translated as Bhikkhus, I, mean Buddha, I myself proclaim intention as karma. Karma is Pali, but karma is Sanskrit. So no matter whatever we talk about, karma or karma is the same thing. But karma in Sanskrit, which is taken from I think Hinduism or whatever, have different meaning from the karma in Buddhism. It's because, thank you for the question that I got from the how was it? The father and mother-in-law of Sariputta. We talked with them yesterday. Well, I got the invitation from him to join the conversation and have lunch at his home. So I got this question. The karma and the karma, or karma in Hinduism and karma in Buddhism, is it the same or different? For sure, it's different. But how? Okay, according to the Tripitaka, Buddha mentioned about the karma in many aspects. At first, he gives us the type of karma as two karma, only two. Briefly, I can say the first is unwholesome karma or unwholesome actions. Another one is wholesome actions. In plain English, I can say bad actions and good actions. Only that. So, one action, it's the same action, but we have to judge it as good or bad. That's what Buddha distinguished. What Buddha distinguished between karma. Karma have the same system, no matter it's good or bad, no matter it's wholesome or unwholesome. It's a system that whatever you give the input, it will result out in the same way. That is karma in Buddhism. You give 10 into the system gives 10 back to you. If you give only plan 10. If you give only a certain amount of good into the system of karma by turning it into actions, and then the system of karma will return it back to you at the same amount. But there are another question. When you do some good merit to the Buddha, how can you gain much more than the others like the ordinary monk? It's because you didn't give the plain amount of goodness. You give the multiplied of it too. For example, you donate 10 units to Buddha. When you get something in reward or in return, you get million. But if you give 10 units to general monk who didn't attain anything, you might get 12 or 15. The difference is not what you give it to them, but the multiply that's hidden inside what you gave to the receiver, or gave into the system of karma. This is karma. Karma didn't change anything. Karma didn't do anything. No matter you cry and ask for the reward, or ask for the punishment, ask for mercy from the system of karma, karma won't do anything in extra, much more than what you have done and input into the karma system. That's why Buddha said to all of us that you have to rely on yourself. You can ask someone to do something for you, but if that person is not the one who are in charge of yours, in yours action, blah blah blah, in the past life, he or she won't do anything to you. Karma don't have any feeling, so it doesn't have any merciness, pity, angry, hatred. It's just a system. It's just a box of transformation. It transforms from what you put into the system into something else which is equal to what you have been given into the system. It's because you gave rice to the monk, it doesn't mean that next life you will get the same amount of rice. It doesn't mean that. It can be a very good example. When you get a money, no matter it's coins or banknote, $1 note or 10 or 100, you deposit it into the bank, and it accumulated into bigger amount. For example, it becomes $500. And when you withdraw from the bank, does the bank give the same thing back to you? No. They will give the different thing, but with the equal amount. They may give 5 of 100 notes, or 50, 25 of 50 notes. See? That's different. That's why when you have done some meritorious actions, some goodness, don't expect to get the same thing that you have done, but it have to be the same quality. When you please someone, someone will please you back. But it's not the same way that you please them. For example, if someone come to you and asks for the mercy, ask for food, you give them food. It doesn't mean that when that karma return back to you, it has to be only food. It can be something else too. But it has to be the same quality, the same amount, but it's not the same unit. It has to be converted, like centimeter is converted into feet or into inches, but it has to be the same length. Yeah, I can say it has to be the same length, no matter centimeter or inch. That is two types of karma or actions that Buddha distinguished for us. And one day, Buddha increased more another aspect of karma. He talked about it again. He divided types of karma to be 3. But it's not by the same criteria. It's not by bad or good. But it's just from the source of actions. So the first type is kaya karma. Kaya karma, it means bodily actions. Whatever action that you conduct by your body, that's considered as bodily action. This is kaya karma. So if you hit something, you give a hand to someone, you do some work to help someone, or you walk away from something. What else? A lot. That's considered as bodily action. No matter it's good or bad, because we don't care at this type of, because it's different criteria. The second one is vajikama. Vajikama is verbal actions. Whatever you speak, you try to speak, but it doesn't mean that you have to pronounce it into the voice. Sometimes even though you use sign language, a medium of communication, because it doesn't mean that who are deaf, who are mute, cannot do any vajikama or verbal actions. No, they can do too. But it's just a mixture, not 100% of verbal karma. It's a mixture between verbal karma and bodily karma. Because you use your body, extra body actions, plus into the verbal actions. That's why. Whatever you speak, you try to please someone, you try to support someone, you give a goodwill to help someone. It becomes verbal action. You scold at someone, you use harsh language to someone, you speak badly to someone, you yell to someone. That's a verbal karma. The first is bodily action. The second is verbal action. What is the third? Where does it come from? Bodily, including all your body, all your movement, except the voice. Verbal actions, your voice, your sound. What else? Where does the third come from? The third one is manokarma. Manokarma is the mental action. It is done within your mind. It's out of ordinary observation. But it is the main factor. It is the main ingredient of the dish that you are going to eat if you compare karma as food. It's because what the Buddha said, all people, I myself, proclaim intention as karma. That's what the Buddha said to us. That's why we do have to care about our mind much more than bodily action and verbal action. Yes, I should confirm this word. Go and check in the court. When Mr. A killed Mr. B, does Mr. A get only punishment in full? Get the full punishment from the court always? Does he always get that? No, not. It's because if Mr. A can declare his pure intention not intend to do so. Oh, I killed by mistake. I misunderstood. Um, I got mental problem. What else? I'm ill. Blah 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 blah. The lawyer will do such a thing. Try to change the situation from the plain understanding that Mr. A killed Mr. B, and because of that, body actions alone didn't give much result. Verbal action alone didn't give much result. But mental actions alone didn't give much result too. It has to be added together. You intend to kill someone, or you unintentionally kill someone. It results in different ways. It results out differently. You may not be arrested because of you didn't intend to kill him or her. Oh yeah, him, Mr. B, for example. That's why. But the main ingredient, as I told you, is the mental actions, manokamma. It because everything, every actions, body actions or verbal action has to start from your mind. And because body without mind becomes crops. Verbal actions without mind become sleeping talk. Do you call it sleeping talk? You talk about sleeping. You don't know anything. It's just what the mind tries to express a feeling out, and then you cannot control it. It's out of ordinary control. That's what we call it. That's right. And does the judge accept it as the real intention? No. Because you are sleeping. As it is. So whatever you speak out, it has to come from your mind. Your mind got angry, you use the hash words to speak out. Your mind angry, you start to hit someone or hit something. Normally, you didn't just hit something or use the 4 letters words with someone while you don't have any feeling, any emotion at all. You need mind to be the main conductor in that concert of life. That's why Buddha said that, "O people, I proclaim intention as the karma. Without real intention, or without citta, or without mental actions, it's not considered as the real karma. It is, but it is as it is not. It's a little bit complicated, but let's say it's not in plain. Because Buddha said it's fine, let it be. It's just like what we call it, the dust in the wind, the dust in the air within the house. You don't mind about it that much if it's not that so thick. It's only the dust in the air. In general, you don't feel anything. That's why. That's what Buddha said. 2 types of karmas, 3 types of karmas. Those were written in Tripitaka or holy books. But some scholar might say that, oh, there is another one, another set of karma, 12 karmas. Yes, they are. But unfortunately, it's not the Buddha's words. The later great master, he tried to distinguish more. He tried to let the people understand more about the karma. So he gave us 12 types of karmas. It's a little bit complicated somehow. It doesn't have any clear cut between one of each. So that's why I wouldn't like to talk at this time. Because somehow, if that word is not or are not the Buddha's word, it might contain some hidden mistakes. As we are the Buddhists who would like to know about the real teaching of Buddha, we have to be careful for such teaching. Even though my teaching, what I have been talking to you, it doesn't mean that you have to easily accept and that, yes, I agree, totally agree. No, it's not what the Buddha wants us to be. Buddha wants us to be the clever one. What does he mean by clever? You have to be careful what you have learned, what you have heard. And then, at first, you didn't just appreciate it or accept it or easily reject it. You have to carefully study about it, learn about it, and compare what you have learned, what you have heard, with the main teaching of Buddha. If it can get along well with the main teaching of Buddha, yes, you accept it as a teaching. I mean, as a teaching, not a real teaching of Buddha, but as a teaching that can get along well with Buddha. Or, if it's not, you just discard it, reject it. Let it be. It's not your responsibility anymore. That's the way. Because if we easily accept it or easily reject it, you won't develop any intelligence within yourself. You have to use your brain. We are lucky to be born as human. That's why we have brain. We have equipment to think, to understand more. If you are born as a dog or a cat, even their mind is about the same as us. But they don't have equipment to think. They can think, but they don't have equipment to show their idea, the way to come out. So they have to wait until they will be born again in the proper form. We are lucky to have such ability to use it. Don't just let the blind faith lead you to somewhere else. That's why Buddha taught us about Kalamsutta. Kalamsutta or Kesaputta. Kesaputta Sutta. This is the real name of the sutta. The last one, even Buddha mentioned that you suppose not just believe it because this person is your teacher. That's why You don't even want anyone to just listen and believe in him, including yourself. It's because in general, you can compare in your life when you enjoy something, the rest of them might not enjoy in the same way as yours. That's why. So you don't have to study Dharma from the book only, but it's in your life. Everything can be converted into right understanding of the natural way, or what we call as Dharma. That's why. Don't just say to me that, oh, you don't have time to read the book, you don't have time to practice Dharma, you don't have time to do this, do that about Dharma, I don't have time to go to monastery, so that's why I enjoy my life, I don't care until I'm suffering, until I experience some suffering and then I ask for help, help, can you please help? But if you didn't help yourself, how can someone help you? But you are sinking in the water and you didn't try to even swim. How can someone help you? But in fact, they are, if you are lucky. If you are not lucky, you will become a corpse. Dead, down, funny. That's very normal. See? That's a way of understanding. Okay. It's about time. Okay. So, hope that you can understand what I would like to convey. Even though my teaching or my speaking is not that best, I hope that it can give you some idea about the real Dharma, about the real karma. It's not in the way that we understand. It might be something different, but it's still there in the nature. So this is the end of my talking today. Thank you for listening. So I give you the blessing a little bit. It's for 2-9. Okay, I have to finish by now. Bye.
Hello, Banteji. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the Dhamma talk, and thank you for giving a talk about the different karma, and hopefully our attendees understand your talk. If any question, guys, please go ahead. Any questions to Banteji?
Mìnhยืนดูตรงนี้ก็ได้ไม่ได้ว่าเลยโอ้ครับพอเปิดกล้องอยู่ไงไม่ออกแล้วออกแล้ว
Wait, give him a few minutes.
Okay, not a problem.
Bhante, let us know if you are busy, and we can take the questions next week as well. But if you have a few minutes, we can take some questions now, Bhante. Okay, so Mahesh, it looks like actually they are using, the Bhante is using a shared room in the Vihara, and that's why we had some disturbance in between. But I think it's a time now to move to our next speaker, Ms. Shipra Uke. and she is a PhD research scholar at Center for American Studies in JNU University, New Delhi, and she is going to speak on a topic, Hindus' identity in the US. Mahesh, before she gets started, do you want to give a quick introduction about her? Do you want to add anything?
I think I'm okay. I think Sipra is going to talk about herself also a little bit, and we can move on. Not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mahesh. So, Shipra, welcome again, and please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mahesh. It's really nice to see you all together, and Banteji has left. My Vandami to him as well, and it was really this is my first time that I'm a part of this online Vihara, and I'm quite excited. Friends, I'm Shipra, and I'm like what Mahesh has already said, that I'm doing my PhD in JNU in American Studies, and in my PhD I'm working on Hindu identity in US. But all these years, Hindus have been portrayed in all the studies before. Hindus have been portrayed as a single monolithic identity, and I'm looking at the same identity with a different perspective, and I'm looking at how it is internally divided into various regional identities, various caste identities, and how these internal religious, regional and religious identities, regional and caste identities, influencing its inclusive and exclusive nature of the religion itself. And right now I am in New Jersey doing. I'm here for my field work actually, and I'll be going to 3 states. I've selected these three states on the basis of the concentration of Hindu population, and the maximum concentration is according to reports, it is New York, New Jersey area, then Texas, and then California. So I selected these 3 places. I will be visiting these 3 states and meeting Hindus, Sikh people, Buddhists, and within Hindus, other people like Ravidasyas, then Swaminarayans and all. And I would be curious to know from you people as well, who are a part of this meeting, to help me in understanding how Hindus in US are sensitive towards whatever is happening in India, or how this identity, this Hindu identity, is affecting. Because I'm a political scientist, so I'm more curious to know how this identity politics is working between India and US, how it is defining the relationship, the bilateral relationship between India and US. Plus, the second part of my PhD also deals with diasporic literature. Basically, I'm a student of literature. So I'm a student of English literature. I did my master's in English literature, but my MPhil and PhD is in international politics. So my PhD thesis is a combination of literature and international politics. So I'm looking at how the writers, 2 diasporic writers, Jhumpal Lahiri and Bharti Mukherjee, are dealing with this Hindu identity in their writing. Quite different kind of a thesis it is, but my complete 1 chapter, which is based on the creation, the propagation, and the methods that are used in creating Hindu identity in US. That is what my 1 chapter deals with, and I'm here for that particular chapter. And again, I also there are a few questions which I want to share with you, and if possible, will you be able to give me some clue why it is happening in diaspora? Because this is the question which I'm finding it very difficult to answer, and I just want to show you one table. I want to share my desktop for that. Yeah, this is the hope you are able to see this.
Yes, we are able to see this everything.
Yes, so this is gender distribution, okay, of major religious traditions in US. And in this, among this, in Hindus, we can see the gender gap is 61:39, and this is the highest gap. If we look at all the religions above Hindus, then in the entire list we find that it is a huge gender gap. It is the difference of 22, and I am unable to understand why this might be happening in US. Why there is such a huge gender gap in US? Because most of the migrants, most of the immigrants are married, or and the other tables show that they are married and they migrate with their partners most of the time. It is very few times it happens. Like Muslims, they migrate, males migrate, but it's not necessary that females also migrate. But their number is also very good as compared to Hindus. One doubt that I have is, if suppose this might be a reason that in India people are more interested to send their male child as a student to foreign country. So I think that might be maybe the reason that as a student more male candidates come to India, come to US, and that might have created this gender gap. But I want to know, is there any other reason which you can throw a light on? What might be any other reason for this gender gap? Second question that I have is, being a political scientist and a political activist as well, I want to know.
Since you asked a question, if there can be any reason, I just typed you a question and I'll just repeat. Even there is a big gap between atheist male and atheist female.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering, like, are there any Hindus in this category as well? Like, do we have some numbers for that?
No, this is not. The atheist doesn't have Hindus in this, because those who have recorded themselves or mentioned themselves as atheist only are taken into this table.
But is it like this? Like when they are here, and I don't know like how this statistics came up, but is it possible like when they come in, they are as a Hindu, but after some time they move to atheist? Can there be a transition like that of males?
Yes, I have a few records which say that earlier, but the ratio very less number amongst Hindus changed to other religions. Okay, I'll just show this. Yes,
that's fine. I don't want to kind of digress your like what you wanted to speak, but I just wanted to kind of highlight this question since you have asked. There was an open question on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, Shibra.
Yeah. Anybody has an answer for this? Yeah. Should I go for another question? The next question which I wanted to ask.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. The another question that I want to ask is very soon general elections 2014 are coming up, are scheduled, which will be taking place in the very next month, in the month of April, in India. What does diaspora think about this coming elections, and do they feel connected to the Indian politics? Like sometimes we find, like when Obama became the president of US, there were many connections being made, like the low caste people in India tried to connect their feelings with Obama becoming a prime minister. Many people equated Mayawati with Obama and this and that. How does diaspora looking at this general election 2014? So these two questions are, I just want to open it to the people so that we can have a good interaction.
Okay, folks, like if there are any questions or answers to the couple of questions which Shipra raised, please speak up or type in the chat window.
Hi Shipra, this is Vijay from Kentucky.
Hi Vijay.
It was great speaking a couple of days before. I was in Michigan that time.
Yeah.
So it's great to know, Mr. Yahya from JNU. That's awesome. You are connected with many people, Ravi Shankar ji, Vivek, and all. I think we see people are connected. That's what we feel like. A lot of communication is going on in ANA and AIM and many other groups. Related to politics, and people are sharing the links, and he's contesting from BSP side, somebody from the app side, there's some discussions are going on. So people are definitely connected. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
And as far as Mayawati is concerned, I think people are very inspired. And I don't know whether people have started celebrating her birthday here in USA. So definitely inspired, and I think people do feel like she can be like Obama back in India. But the thing is, support has to be there. There's so many parties and people are just planning, and I think they all were after Mayawati. That's why they could make her lose election last time, because all parties tried, and they kind of, even Congress, if you might have be remembering, when she lost, then even if Congress did not get many seats, but they said we won, and a couple of Congress people, they said that they won because they wanted Mayawati to be out. That's the thing. So, but one question I have, Shipra, I got recently, like in Bangladesh, most of the Muslims are actually SC/ST people, SC/ST and OBC. How much is this true?
See, if you look at the origin or our freedom struggle, if you look at, and the partition particularly, okay. This complete division of India, or the creation of, I would say, India, is completely on religious grounds, and it is not only on the religious grounds; it is also on caste lines. Okay, so when you look at Pakistan, the partition for Pakistan, when we created Pakistan, it was said that we want to divide Hindus and Muslims. But when Bangladesh, here when we look at Bangladesh, then you might have heard the name Nomo Shudra. Have you heard this name, Nomo Shudra?
Nomo Shudra.
This actually is a group which comes under lower caste Hindus who actually were practicing Buddhism. They were practicing Buddhism during that time as well. Okay, and I would definitely tell you one very important thing. Bengal was partitioned in 2005, and and a group of people who came and settled. There were very few families, somewhere around 20-25 families who came and settled in the Lucknow city. Okay, and now these families have now today this number has gone up to 3,000 families or 300 families. I'm not sure about this number, but they have their Buddh Vihar, and that Buddh Vihar, they created their Buddh Vihar there in 2007, and that Buddh Vihar is even today working very nicely, very nicely. Those people are very nicely connected with each other. I have personally visited that Buddh Vihar, and those people, what I want to say is the creation of independent India is in fact an exclusion, a big exclusion, exclusionary event which actually made the lower caste people to be out of Indian boundaries. And Bangladesh is one of the examples. And what happened is those lower caste people practiced Buddhism, and then later on we find that those people were getting converted or forcibly converted into Islam as well. But everybody was not forcibly converted to Islam. Some people were already practicing Islam in that part. And you're right that they are lower caste people, and that's why there was no point in cutting India from that side. It is very, very logical why Bangladesh was created, and that's only because those were low caste people. That's it.
Thank you, Shipra.
Yeah.
Any other question, guys? Please type in or speak up. Shipra, is there anything else that you want to share or you want to speak?
Yes, there was a question. Vijay was saying one more thing regarding Mayawati and in UP when BSP lost, Congress said that we won. Okay, but one thing I want to make our people think a bit critically as well, because if our parties are not doing good, then it is our responsibility to see why they are not performing properly, why the performance is not up to the mark. See, in politics, yes, everybody is your enemy. That's the first rule of politics, because you stand, and as far as BSP is concerned, we look at BSP as a movement, we look at BSP as an alternate party coming or standing against the existing political system or the caste system of India. Now, then when we come up with that, then I don't think there is any point in blaming others for our loss. If we're losing, we are against the system, and of course we'll lose, and our fight would be very, very difficult. That's absolutely understood. But this excuse should not be used so often. Okay, this is what I feel, and let's look at where we went wrong, because there are a few things which have penetrated into BSP which are very, very shocking and not healthy for lower caste politics. That is the money thing. Okay, and can you imagine, like, why AAP, this party, Aam Aadmi Party, has come up in India? There was no place. I mean, whose issue corruption was, or whose issue corruption is? It's our issue. It's our issue. But BSP could not take up this issue because BSP has become corrupt. And this is what is the reason we have lost our vote percent. Just look at the recent Delhi elections. We lost a lot of our vote percent in this election. And the most important part is there is no. I mean, it is very difficult to understand what Mayawati's plans are, because she doesn't have. She's not meeting the people. And there is no new steps being taken to mobilize people. Like, for example, cadre camps were stopped. Okay, completely. There were no cadre camps being held for all these years since there was a complete majority government in UP. So I can say since 2009 there was complete nationwide. Cadre camps were stopped. Then there is no connectivity between Mayawati and people, and what she is doing. And okay, after losing the government in UP, Mayawati has been staying in Delhi for the last two years. And when in Delhi elections, we performed so badly, and we have to think over it why it happened. But again, there is a big problem with the party politics in India, which is to be very, very critically understood. One is, since a few years, or I can say that all the parties, irrespective of what ideology they follow, all are doing the same thing. All are using the same methods. And that is very, very dangerous. At least for our community, it is very, very dangerous. If we are having our party, then it must have a very, very healthy and very, very what I can say, very, very strong message that party must give. I don't mind politics. Mein haar jeet kuch nahi hoti. There's nothing harna or jeetna in politics, and power never remains with one person or one party or one ideology. It changes. That's the beauty of politics. But then we have to be a big voice in deciding where the power goes, right? And I don't find this voice coming from BSP, and this I'm very doubtful about its performance in the coming elections 2014, because sometimes party doesn't perform so good, but then there is always a kind of dialogue, there is always a kind of discussion, or at least the people take advices from some experts, or even from sadharan karyakartas, simple activists. But there is nothing of this sort in BSP, and therefore, if anybody wants to give his or her opinion, like where is the problem, let's solve it, there is no chance. There is no chance at all to send this message to Benji, and that's actually a big problem. And therefore, I think that instead of blaming others, that all parties were together and that made Mayawati lose in UP election, I don't think it is a good excuse, because somewhere faults are also with us, and we have to take care of those faults.
Yeah, Shraddha,
Yeah, I think you are right. We have to learn, where mistakes happen, and we should fix those mistakes. That's how we can improve and we can move ahead. If we cannot identify the problems, then definitely we are going to be down.
Yeah.
I do know a couple of people. I was connected with BSc people, and they were working, all places, naming BSP, campaigning for BSP, convincing people for BSP, but still they were not getting any hope or any, welcome from party side. Actually, the major people.
Yes.
But I heard now she is personally meeting, and those people she has met, and they are connected, and now they are more enthusiastic now. So maybe she might have learned this. We are just hoping. This is just information I got, but I don't know whether she has really changed. But yeah, definitely she did disconnect. That's what I also heard from our people. In fact, people were in that boat. I think 1 year before, they started saying we will go for BJP in next election. That's how people started thinking. So I think hopefully let's see the ground level how hard they are working, and they have changed their process of working.
Yes, that's right. The sooner BSP leadership understands the problem and tries to solve that problem, okay, identifies the problem and tries to seriously tries to solve that problem, it would be very good. But what is happening in India, we are actually we are working on a project in Nagpur, which if you permit me, then I can share here. Should I go ahead with that?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. See, we have started a project in Nagpur where what happened is Nagpur has a very different place in as far as low caste movement is concerned, because Nagpur is the headquarter of RSS. That's where the religious Kranti has taken place in 1956, and we find good number of our people have done very nicely in the field of education. And whenever anything happens, any atrocity happens, people come on streets, okay, and they protest, and they send a very strong message to, for example, say the Kerala issue and all, or whatever. Whenever it happens, people come on streets and do this. But then I always had this doubt, and even my friends in JNU with whom I am doing this project, is one thing which actually made us think since 2.5 years. We were actually very restless. Like, why this such a strong social force, socio-religious force in Nagpur not getting converted into a political force? Because we have such a big number, and people, even Nagpur people, don't know what their number is, and that again shows that they are unaware of their own strength. Now, the number of Buddhists, Neo Buddhists particularly in Nagpur, is 4 lakh. Okay, I mean the voters. I'm telling about the voters. There are 4 lakh Neo-Buddhist voters, and when you look at the Lok Sabha seat, and when you look at that person, the person who is a winner becomes a winner at the most 3.15 lakh. Okay, so okay, if we think that all 4 lakh people are not going to vote, even if we think of 2 lakh voters, okay, even if 2 lakh Neo-Buddhist people vote in general election. Even then we have to work only for 1 year. And of course, if we come together and together with OBCs and all, we can definitely have a scheduled caste or OBC or scheduled tribe candidate in parliament. But never ever these people have thought on these lines, and no party, because the people of Nagpur have not thought on these lines, no political party, no including BSP, is not giving a ticket to any scheduled caste or a Buddhist candidate. Now, this was a main concern why this was happening in Nagpur. So we visited Nagpur many times in the last couple of years, and we spoke to small or chota mota leaders or even big leaders there, and they said no, Nagpur people are very much aware. See, whenever any atrocity happens, we come on the streets or we fight for our rights, and our people are doing very well. But then when we asked them the question, most of the social workers or even most of the students were saying that if you want to talk about politics, then we are not interested in talking about politics. Social baat karni hai? Yes, we are ready for that. So this was the attitude, and when we initially when we went there, and it was a bit difficult to talk to the people about the political thing, because we found that the socially vibrant city of Nagpur is politically weak. That's what our hypothesis was when we visited Nagpur. But then we thought, let's change our method, because we were not satisfied with the answers which we were getting. And then we designed a questionnaire, and we thought that there's no point in meeting the leaders. Let's go to the masses and take their views. And so when we designed a questionnaire, that questionnaire consists of only 6-7 questions, just 1-page questionnaire, and we went to the people, and then we collected their views, and our sample size was 6,000 samples, and till now we have collected 3,000 samples. But because this is a very crucial time for us, we have to submit our PhDs in July, and I have to come for my fieldwork also here. So we stopped here, but some of our friends are working. So the pace is a bit slow. The collection of samples pace is a bit slow, but then work is going on. Now, what we have observed on the basis of only 3,000, 3,000 are yet to be collected, but on the basis of 3,000 samples, what we have observed is that the hypothesis that we came with, that Nagpur is very, very socially vibrant city, that was proved wrong. And I can say here that Nagpur is not a social city. People are not social in Nagpur. They do come, but they are not connected. They come for a cause and then they disperse. They don't have a clear cut or a long-term agenda, or they don't think of protecting their community for a longer period of time. They don't meet each other. Very, very individualistic society is what is Nagpur city is. That is what we observed. And when Baba Sahib says that social and politics is connected, we are very right when he says that unless you are socially strong, you cannot be politically strong. And that's what we actually observed. People in Nagpur are weak politically only because they are socially weak, and therefore there is a need of working entirely on a different method in Nagpur. But I'm very, very positive and very I think much can be done in Nagpur, and if we are able to do something very good in Nagpur, then it can really change the shape of India's politics. And why Nagpur we want to say is because it's the center of the country, plus it has historical religious importance in Indian politics. The only thing is we have to ignite the minds of our people, which is not done by anyone, because you know, friends, what we have realized in the past few years is that there is a big conspiracy being played, and nobody of us could understand how this conspiracy actually started in 1985 with the inclusion of anti-defection law in Constitution. Now we all think that anti-defection law is good because people change their parties, their political parties, for their personal gain. Yes, that is one of the factors, but that factor is less than 1%. Less than 1%. Now, what it has, the original Constitution doesn't talk about party at all. It doesn't talk about party at all. And then we have this party system, which makes how it has actually changed the political scenario of our country. Is a person who is elected by the people will never work for the people who elected them, who elected him or her. That person gets elected by people, but that person is responsible to party, because if he goes against party, and if he is for the public, then he will lose the portfolio which he or she is holding in that, or he will lose that if he goes against the whip of political party, then he won't be the member of that party. He will lose the portfolio, and he will be completely out of party. So what happens is that elected member no longer remains a representative of the people. So this anti-defection law has actually detached the representative from the public, and this is what has happened very nicely with our people. They couldn't understand this thing, like and the other thing is the political reservation, because political reservation has in fact handicapped our people, and I personally feel that political reservation must go. Political reservation is not healthy for this community. In fact, it is working against the lower caste people. This is and I think we have to think on in these lines. And if we give or we can experiment on a partyless democracy in Nagpur, for example, we are having a plan for this, and we would think that if we go with a partyless democracy where people elect their own representatives before that person is made to contest in general election or the main election, if the people elect their own representatives amongst themselves, rather than party selecting one candidate and sending him to contest, that would give a better what I can say, a fresh air, I can say, in politics. But again, we are at a very initial stage of it, and we are planning on these lines. And I would love to have your opinions as well. Most of the times, what happens is people say that no, it is something utopian kind of a thing you're talking. But we also know that whatever new comes in this world, it looks like a utopia thing. I would like to know your views as well on this.
Thanks. Mahesh, are you saying something?
Yeah, no, again, thank you, Shipra, for your nice talk here. Thank you very much. I did type some information for the Shiv Shankar Das. The friends, again, here Mahesh, Shiv Shankar Das is a Buddhist scholar at JNU. We also like to visit in US, so we probably need to support to draft a letter for the invitation. And Vijayji, I think you guys are celebrating some kind of programs in the DC area, so that will be the good opportunity for him to come down there and also do his study here. So that's only I want to add here. So we'll work it out on that, Chitra. Again, thank you very much for your talk. I have one question regarding your study work. Looks like you are visiting a lot of the Hindu families and also Buddhist families and the Buddhist temple. Yesterday, I find out there was a big program in Michigan, the Jain Mahasabha kind of big program. Only around 500 to 1,000 people attended that Jain gala, and they collected. I mean, this is my again observation, around $50,000 to $100,000 in one program. So, what do you feel about that? In your observation, what are we lacking? Are our Buddhist community is lacking to unite the people, or what is your observation?
See, Mahesh, actually, the problem with this is there are very interesting methods of uniting the people, right? And this has happened since ages. When we look at Hinduism or Islam, then they meet somewhere, okay? They congregate. These are congregational religions. Like Friday for Islam, for Muslims, they come together, church, whatever be their personal interest, okay? And there is no harm in having your personal interests and still meeting the people, right? You and I can have personal interest, but then I also feel that your and my personal interests can be better served if we are a part of community rather than be away from the community, okay? And that is the thing which we have to develop amongst our people. We have worked a lot in sending our children to very good schools, and we are encouraging the youngsters also to apply in good universities across the world. We help them in whatever manner we can. We help them in getting good jobs. But then there is another side which we also need to work upon, and that is the social side, where people must come together, and we have to devise methods for it. And we must have, like the way Hindus send their children to their important important temples, and they make them learn some important shloks or whatever. It might be rubbish thing, but they make them learn so that they feel connected with something, and that something is very important. We have to create that something into very important thing and make our children grow with that thing, and that is the connectivity. We have to create places where our children would come together, share their ideas, talk. Initially, they can just be kids. I mean, kids can come and play together. We can create a small playground kind of a thing at least. But we have to create some spaces for sharing of ideas, sharing of ideas and sharing for and creating a feeling that you are or I am because you people are. So that is the feeling which we need to create, and the methods, like they should get. Most of the times we don't have like we are meeting online. That's a very good initiative. But if we would have been meeting personally, face to face, and sharing food, okay, sharing time, and of course we are sharing time here also, but it would have been given better results, and would have given stronger message to our new generation, which is staying very far from their houses. Second thing, the culture of giving, okay, because there is no community feeling, we lack in donations as well. So there is very much, it is very much needed that we create a feeling of giving, the feeling of donation. That is a feeling of what I should say, feeling of giving, no, benevolence. That is to be created amongst our youngsters, and so it will take time. But again, why it is not happening? Because we are seriously not trying on this. Most of the times, what happens? Some people are so active; they give their time, they give their money, they give their intellect, talent, everything. But then they, after some time, they feel that nobody is coming out, nobody is helping that person, so they feel discouraged, and then they, with all their good efforts also, they feel so discouraged that they themselves stop working towards the community. So community on one hand should give us the inspiration to work for it, but our community is giving negative vibes, which is not good, which is absolutely unhealthy for any community. So the younger generation needs to be trained, but for that we have to train ourselves. Okay, this is the only thing, like donating, giving, a feeling of service towards others is to be inculcated. That is where we are lacking, and it is good that if a person cannot give time, then that person can give money. But you must give. The feeling of giving is to be created. That is very much lacking in our people. And the first thing is, because we don't meet, we have to meet. We must meet more often than what we are doing. We don't meet. That is the first thing.
Thank you, Shipra. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think I will. People can hear 1 minute probably. For my understanding,
Sorry, Vijayji, Dala, can you please mute yourself? There is a lot of disturbance from your side. Vijayji, go ahead, please come closer to the mic. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, it is iPad, so it's, okay. So what I was saying, like our people, I have seen the best people. I have seen other people also, but our people back in India, here, everywhere, and I have seen their motivation, inspiration for our society, and giving wise also. You will be surprised. Giving wise also. So our people, I feel like best, but only thing is at upper level we have to do something. Upper level means, our leaders should come with competition like America. USA president when fights, there is a good competition, right? And it's amazing system. So what I would say, Britain and America, they have been leader of the world. So we should learn from them, their approaches, how they lead, like in corporations or non-profit organizations, and how they lead even churches. Just forget about country. Churches, if you think that church, our city church is connected with the state church is connected with the whole United States church, and that is connected with main church in Vatican City. Where is that main church? So it's a all together one organization which is well managed. So you see the management skill, management skill not at a C level or not at a city level only. It is at the school level. It is at church level. So my people are the Hindu people, they could not screw up our people. Islamic people, they came from outside. They could not, take over, our places and kings and those things. Our people are honest, good, and very, only thing is, some people, whoever come forward, come at top, and then your advantage and self-benefit of those start happening. Main thing is management is, and base how to create, how to be created, like in the Vihara, We need to have qualified and real good monks. I have seen, Vihara, I went in India. In Vihara, if I go, I'm seeing, monks are smoking. They can teach, right? Like monks are, one of my friends, Jayaprakash Gautam, he offered a drink, alcohol. And he accepted. See, can think. So how can you give good seed to kids or people? No, they cannot learn good things. So my thing is just think, Britain and America have been world leaders. We have to learn from them. They are very good management skill holders. That's what I feel like. Thank you.
Yes, Vijay, I definitely agree with you. But then there are two things, like leaders. Leaders are leaders are what their people are. Okay, and people must choose their leaders very carefully. And if they find that the leaders are not at a right track, then it is the duty of the people to bring them on track. Okay. Now, as far as monks are concerned, of course, I feel that they are the leaders of the society. The politicians or the public leaders, yes, they are the voice of the people they represent. But what happens is, when we look at what has happened to RPI, when we look at what has happened to BSP and all, we are not seriously taking our job as to discipline our leaders. When RPI leaders are not following Ambedkarite movement, Ambedkarite mission, then it is our job as well to reject them as our leaders. But we don't do that. We fail in disciplining our leaders. We fail in disciplining our monks. Reject them. Reject that leadership. That is the most important thing. If Mayawati is doing wrong, let her know. People must tell her that she is doing wrong. There is no wrong in telling right as right and wrong is wrong. So some fault is also with us. Why do we even continue to call Ramdas Athawale as our leader? Why do we continue considering Udit Raj as our leader? I just don't understand. These people are not at all serious about, or they are not sure what they are doing. They really don't know what they are doing, and they are actually spoiling the entire community's aspirations. There is no direction. They don't have any vision, and there is no point in calling these people as leaders. Reject those monks. We shouldn't allow such monks to be a part of the community. They shouldn't be allowed to be a part of a particular vihar. That we can do, but we don't do that.
Well, Shivraj, I will say one thing. Bharati Buddha Mahasabha head. Okay, if really they are working, if they would like to work, they can filter out. As per this is my personal view, public cannot take, they can just deny the leader, not vote. That's what they can do. They cannot find person there. It's not public's responsibility. That's I feel. Leader, Bharati can play big role. It can change whole country. I can tell you. It can produce good leaders. It can do anything. But when they are connected with lower level, at the state level Vihara, they are connected. Bharati Buddha Mahasabha is connected with them. They are connected with city level Viharas, all Viharas, but nobody works with each. So there is a management problem there. That's what I feel like. We have to learn from these people. Forget about our old approaches. We should accept that these people are good management skill holders. They are awesome. We should learn from them. That's what I feel like. People are still. I feel they are innocent. That is our people are best. That's my understanding. It's personal view. Thank you.
Of course, our people are best people.
I just want to interrupt over here. We are almost done with our time. It's 11:30. But Shukra and Vijay, please, whatever discussion topic you are is going on right now, let's wind that up. So please go ahead, Shukra.
Yeah. Thank you. How much time is there? Sorry.
They generally wind up around 11:30 a.m. East Coast, but that's fine if you take few minutes more.
Okay, I'll just finish in one minute. What I feel, Vijay, is of course our people are very good, but we must know that if these people lack leadership, then this good will have no value. To keep the value of these people intact, we must have good leaders. The visionary leaders are needed. Okay, the people who don't have any direction, there is no point in. Yes, most important part is we have good organizations, and we have plenty of organizations. Best thing what we can do is we must start networking between these organizations. That is the only thing that can be done, and we should have such a nice and strong chain of these organizations that it becomes a force. Okay, this is how we can bind. We can come closer, and we can have huge gatherings through these organizations, because every organization, if that particular organization is working in isolation, then it will not have that strength. So connecting small organizations, connecting big and small organizations, connecting big organizations, coming together and having their connectivity, their network will be a very strong point in our movement. That is what I feel. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vijayji. Do you have any final winding up thoughts? Vijayji?
No, I think great discussion. And Shipra, I went through your video also, that YouTube video.
Okay.
So inspirational and great. You are doing great. I think that's a good thing you are doing in Nagpur, and I think somehow you should go ahead and work with BS and try to explain and come yourself. I think you both will do good if she can listen, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working whatever I can according to my ability. I'm doing.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks. It was a good discussion. Thanks for highlighting those points, Vijayji, Mahesh, and all others. And Shipra, thanks for coming over. And the good part I liked about today's session is you are the first speaker who came up questions to us.
Okay.
So that's hardly the case.
Hello.
Sorry, it got muted by mistake. So it's good, like a PhD thesis person coming to us for some answers to a forum like this. So we are happy about that. And definitely, in the future, if you are around, we would like to hear more the crux of your your findings and more about the topic. So again, thank you for coming and thank you for sharing all your thoughts. So
thank you all of you. Thank you all of you for listening and being a part of this discussion. Thank you.
So guys, have a good week ahead. and we'll look forward to meet you next week. Jai Bhim, Namo Buddhaya. Bye.
Bye bye.